Oh, misty eye of the mountain below, keep careful watch of my brother's souls. And should the sky be filled with fire and smoke, keep watching over during suns. If this is to end in fire, then we shall all burn together. Watch the flames climb high into the night, calling out, Father, oh, stand by and we will watch the flames burn over and on the mountainside. And if we should die tonight, then we should all die together. Raise a glass of wine for the last time, calling out, Father, oh, prepare as we will watch the flames burn over and on the mountainside. Desolation comes upon the sky. Now I see fire inside the mountain. I see fire burning the trees, and I see fire hollow in soul. I see fire, blood in the breeze, and I hope that you remember me. People folding, surely I'll do the same. Confined in mountain holes, we got too close to the flame, calling out, Father, oh, hold fast and we will watch the flames burn over.
Alright guys, welcome to another episode. We have today a very special guest. His name is Darkvyper, and he's a merc. So, a day in the life of a merc, we're going to discuss everything that we're going to be covering today with him, his understandings, racketeering, how it all works, and go from there, yeah. So, alright, the meeting shall begin. Hopefully I don't get killed. Alright, I don't think I will. Yes, I'm leaving engines on for obvious reasons. But I need to book it. That's why I brought the Herald. Alrighty, so there's Lord as usual, and there is Darkvyper. So guys, today we're going to be asking some questions of Darkvyper and why he chose merc gameplay and things like that. So we'll just wait for him to come down to us. Alrighty, hello Darkvyper, how are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I am marvellous. Thank you, sir, for joining me today to go over what merking is. So guys, Darkvyper is a full-time merc. He lives in Pyro and he runs protection, racketeering and all those kind of things, as well as obviously does contracts. So why merking? Why did you choose Mercenary Work for Star Citizen?
I kind of fell into it by accident, to be honest. I'd been away from the game for probably about a year or so and came back, and I didn't really want to do the usual hauling, mining, salvage or anything like that. And I just saw someone in global chat asking if, they wanted someone to basically protect them while they were doing some haulage because they kept getting attacked. So I ended up contacting the guy and I said, yeah, I'll do it. Not thinking about payment or anything like that. I was just thought, I'll just do it. I was a bit bored. And so I met the guy in Pyro on Bloom, I think it was, and he had a Caterpillar, and he had a shit ton of cargo. I said to him, I'm just gonna protect you and let you know if anyone comes, and I'll divert attention away. I'll get whoever away. Anyway, a Connie showed up, and I was only in a Cutlass Blue at the time. Not the best ship in the world. Great missile loadout, but that's about it. But the Connie was too fast. But the good thing is that I got the Connie away by about 20 kilometres or something to allow the Caterpillar to get his cargo offloaded, get his money, and then disappear. And the guy gave me like 300k for doing that, and I'm like, there's something in this. So that's where it started.
Okay, so would you think about doing anything else other than merc work from here in, or is that going to be your profession?
I think that's really it. I mean, yeah, I like to do stuff that's pretty exciting. I got sort of bored with doing deliveries and stuff over the years, and yeah, and I think as well now that Pyro is here, it's just opened up a whole new sort of earning potential for me. I'm PvPing every day, and even though I wouldn't consider myself very good at it, but I managed to get paid and keep people safe, and that's the main thing.
Indeed. So what specifically is mercenary gameplay? What's the difference between piracy and mercenary work?
Well, piracy is obviously stealing, and my job is protection. So that's the sort of key to it. I was never really into the piracy thing, and I just can't be bothered, reading people crying and chat and stuff like that. That's not my thing. So I'd much rather protect people as best as I can. Not that I'm saying that I'm not adverse to it as such. I've been involved in piracy, but not directly, if you know what I mean. Usually it's like things like interdiction and stuff, that's what I kind of do there, and then whoever does the piracy, they can do it. They just pay me to stop ships, and then I leave them to it.
Yeah, so a security contractor, gun for hire, also services rendered. Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, all the grey areas covered as well. But yeah, I don't do the piracy directly, no.
All right, fantastic. Now, the risk to reward of the gameplay loop, is it profitable or is it just amenable and it's good enough?
Well, I think with the change in the system now, with looting people's bodies, I think nowadays in game there's no gear feed anymore. So that kind of ruined it for me a little bit, because I like to have the fear, because I'm always carrying railguns and stuff like that, and before I'd always have this fear of losing stuff, and you would make better decisions to stay alive. But nowadays you don't really need to bother, and it's the same for other players as well. So that kind of spoiled it a little bit for me, so I don't bother with all that now. So I basically just like help haulers, miners and whatnot, because obviously they don't want to lose their precious cargoes and stuff like that. So yeah, the gear fear kind of killed it a little bit. People take more chances. They don't really give a shit, because they know, I've got my guns in my back, I might lose my inventory or whatever, but they've still got all their nice new armour, so they're not losing any money. So I found that actually, there's just more profit there for me. I don't have to go and get geared up, spend 30-40k on armour and then whatever in guns and whatnot. Unless I've got a railgun or whatever gun in my hand and I die while it's in my hand, then obviously that's an issue. But I always make sure I only have the guns that I need, and they're on my backpack, and I'll be fine.
Oh, fair enough. How about we go for a bit of a wander? Yeah, let's just go for a wander around the station here. Oh, look at that view. My God. Okay.
Beautiful.
Yeah, right. So, let's just walk side by side. I've noticed there's one of the terror tanks here, which I have not seen actually in person in game yet, which is actually quite interesting. So while we have a bit of a walk and a talk, racketeering. So explain racketeering to myself and the community of how it works, what the kind of unwritten rules are, what the written rules are in relation to other mercs, how you guys have your set of rules and guidelines to oppose each other or work with each other on occasion, things like that.
That's a really tough one because I think a lot of people work differently on how they do it. Without obviously going into too much detail about how I do it personally, because I tend to deal with a lot of big organisations who have got the money to spend and they've got a axe to grind with other orgs. So I have to be kind of careful what I say. I always think infiltration is a key thing, and having an alt account as well is really important, which obviously no one really knows about. But yeah, I mean, it sounds like proper shady and stuff. It's only a game at the end of the day, but this is just a bit of fun for me. But yeah, the whole racketeering thing, it just depends on what you want to do. You just want to work for a couple of orgs and do this and that, or do you want to get really deep into espionage and screwing people over, basically, which is kind of yeah, sometimes I do that. It really just depends. I'll just go where the money is, and as far as other mercs and hunters and whatnot, I don't know what they do because I don't speak to them, so I really don't know. I don't know what else to tell you other than the way that I infiltrate organisations, or like I said to you when I spoke to you briefly, things will be placed in my lap and say, do you know about this particular org that's put a bounty on another org? What do you want to do? Do you want to get involved with it? And like I've done before, I've done a bit of research on the orgs and found out that the org that actually put the bounty out were actually really the bad guys. You know what I mean? And they were just bullying and pirating other players or other orgs because they won't join their organisation and allow them to offer protection, basically a protection racket. That goes on a lot. It's insane. So I'll usually double cross and end up with more money out of it. There's loads of little loops and stuff you can do.
Right, okay, so yeah, it's very much all for one for one instead of all. And it's about survivability. It's about playing, inverted commas, the game of racketeering and making sure that number one gets paid and stuff everyone else basically, right?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's just whatever pays the most, I'll do it. And I'll only have loyalty to the organisations that I'm working for at the time, and obviously I don't share any information about anything else at that particular time as well. So that's the one thing I do pride myself on is if I'm doing these sort of special ops, it stays with me basically. Yeah, and I mean, it's quite tough, and it can be quite time consuming just to make 50 million, because it might take a couple of weeks to gather evidence and do a lot of following, and yeah, there's a lot of sneakiness that goes into it as well, but it's cool. It's what I spend my evenings doing when I'm not working, so it's kind of cool that I can just be someone else, and I'm not a nasty person. I've spent more money helping people in game than anything else. You see a lot of beggars in the global chats, I need this and I need that, and I'm like, dude, here's $1 million, or I'll meet up with them and I'll show them how to make some money. Do you know what I mean? I'll buy them one of the big multi-tools and I'll take them out in a Star Lancer or something like that, show them how to do cargo and all that sort of stuff, so I'm helpful that way. It's just obviously my main sort of thing is doing what I do.
And that's justifiable. You're playing the gameplay loop that you want to play and that suits you and that you enjoy, which is the most important thing of all. And
it's a sandbox,
Yes, but at the same time, you're still being a humanitarian and helping people. So that's the most amicable thing I think anybody in Star Citizen can do. Is I remember getting caught on Crusader a while back, and what had happened is basically I got back to my ship and the turrets were acting up all weird and all that kind of crap, and it blew up my ship, right? But I survived, right? That's a random occasion in itself. So I was literally stranded, right? Slowly getting eaten alive by the planet's atmosphere, starving to death, dehydrated, and on the absolute verge of death. Before that, though, I put a request out into the general chat, the global chat, and someone who came, like yourself, from Pyro, from Ruin in Pyro, all the way over and picked me up and dropped me back at Everest Station. So
Wow.
this is our real community. We are a fantastic, wonderful group of people that are being made to feel a little bit frustrated, a little bit angry. I'm being really nice to YouTube so YouTube doesn't get angry at me. And we're at a stage now in the development where we need the next step. And the fact that there are still people in the game right now who are also despondent and grumpy like we are, who still are willing to go to those extreme extents to travel literally an entire star system over to another one, to a real pain in the ass location in the middle of bloody nowhere, literally on Crusader. He didn't have to do that. He offered.
No.
After I made a request. He put me in the med bed. He gave me food and water. He looked after me. We had a lovely conversation, and I promised him I'd be a cargo monkey for him for a week, and he still never took it up. Never took it up. So if you're watching this video, mate, I'm still more than happy to be your cargo monkey for a month. It's the least I can do. All right, moving on.
Yeah, there's a lot of great players. There really is. I see them daily, you know, and I love helping those guys out as much as I can.
And they're the soul of Star Citizen. And they are the people that will be here in the end, compared to all the complainers and the haters and the doomers and all the grumpy people. They're going to be the people here at the end with us. And we're going to be able to experience this with really damn decent people. And this is the whole idea of Star Citizen, is for people to cooperate, work together, and grow and explore and expand. And you can't do that when you're backstabbing each other. Or complaining about the development.
That's true.
So
yeah, it's like just get on with it, you know.
Right. So we covered briefly profit and loss, but can you just go kind of a bit more into how you kind of get your game banking working, and especially in there's some cases where you're going to be in these situations where you're up with one org and down with the other, or up with both orgs and you're doing a double cross. What would be your weekly take home, for the work you do averaged out over a 7-day real world period?
I mean, you're talking about maybe I'll play sort of 3 to 4 hours every evening, and each day I'll probably make, I mean, it just varies on the job. Some of them are quite small, but if I just average it out, you're probably looking at maybe about 4 million a day. Okay,
so that's good money each week. That's sustainable.
Which ain't too bad. It's, but also as well, there is obviously days where I might not get anything, excuse me, and I'll just muck around and just go explore and stuff like that. But usually with my work, I'll get either a Discord message, or sometimes I just see random people just looking for, someone to help them, and I'll just go and do that. But yeah, it can vary. I mean, I missed out on a couple of jobs last night, I think it was, because by the time I got the jobs in, I'd already logged off for the night, and that was $500,000 for 1 hour.
1 hour, righto.
Yeah, but that's fine.
Good.
And it was only to do protection for an exec hangar,
okay.
Yeah, I do a lot of the CZs and stuff with a lot of people that are not. They want obviously loot and whatnot, but they don't maybe necessarily have the PvP skills, or they don't have enough players, because you usually get teams of 4 and 5 going into a CZ. You get some crazy solo players. I've came up against a few of them and they're really good. But yeah, they just want an extra couple of bodies in there just to give them a bit of support. So yeah, that's quite lucrative, because that is quite quick. For doing a run through on a CZ, what you talking, 25 minutes max, if it's pretty straightforward. Yeah. And I can get 250 to 500k depending, on how much the person has, to spend. Sometimes I've done it for free just to help someone out. It just depends. It's not like I need the money.
Well, exactly right. So for example, I'm 23 million up right now, and that's after buying 2 more Tauruses, 2 more Hull Cs, a bunch of other ships and armor and gear and everything, and I've still got 23 mil in the bank after just doing my master rank stuff for cargo. And that's the thing. People, I think, don't realize the whole thing with the currency in the game. That's not your main focus. It's materials, minerals, gems, all of that stuff that goes into making the ships or goes into making the weapons, the habs, etc. Yeah. All right. Base building. Won't talk about that yet, guys. Sorry. Future endeavors. So after 1.0 comes out, we're going to have obviously Nyx in comparison to Pyro. Will you be doing a lot of kind of Nyx escorting and things like that?
I don't know. I think I'm just going to see how it goes. It'll just be more of the same. I reckon. I'm really happy with this because like every so often it's just got all these really cool things happen. You know, it's like there's these little stories that you're involved in. You know what I mean? It's like it'll keep things like really interesting. So that for me is really good. I just wish that they didn't change the looting system of players and stuff like that. That's really annoying. But you know, it's all the Care Bears that started crying. So
I think I think about 80% of the community was super pissed about it, and 20% weren't. Unfortunately, that's just the way things have panned out. Now we've got item recovery 1.0 coming out, I think in 4.3 or just after.
Yeah.
And that's going to include insurance. So if you do not pay your insurance on every single thing aside from your consumables, you're going to lose it. Yep. So that might turn back in our favour with losing things in time.
Yeah, it may balance it out a bit. Yeah. I mean, like, because I was playing a lot of survival games before, like DayZ and all that sort of stuff. So, that, you know, the gear fear and whatnot, you know, once you've been through your life and you get killed and you've got all this amazing armor and stuff and your nice weapons and whatnot, you know, it should be the fact that, you know, if you die in combat, you should lose it, you know, fair and square.
Well, you lose your body, you should lose the stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, I get that it was because there's a lot of bugs and stuff like that. People were losing stuff even when I'm not doing combat. I was that myself.
Yeah,
you know,
I think we were
randomly.
100%.
Yeah, I suppose I try to kind of balance it, but yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing, balance, right? They still haven't got that right with ships. Yeah. Anyway, not going to get negative. So, is there anything else that you think Star Citizen needs to do outside of obviously the tech debt and all the problems we've got now? Is there anything else that...
Yeah, I think they should be focusing on the fixes. I think updates should be a bit more regular. That's what I feel. Especially people I've got a lot of problems at the minute, just simple stuff like elevators, missions not working, even like the Lazarus missions and stuff to get the eggs, they've been bugged for like the last week or so. I've done quite a few of those, doing security with a few orcs, and yeah, they go and turn up and the egg's not even there. So
really?
Yeah, that's how. I mean, I still get paid. So because it was obviously for my time and stuff like that. And but yeah, I wish they would do a bit more ongoing fixes rather than waiting for like the big updates. I know they do a couple of hot fixes and stuff like that, but I just feel that they should be doing a bit more on that side of things because people have got a right to complain, you know what I mean? And also, anytime there is an update, it just breaks other stuff that was fine before, or at least working before. There's lots of stuff. It's just an uphill struggle. But it'll be interesting to see the development over the next few years when they start, obviously, with the base building and all that sort of stuff as well. I don't know if they're trying to take on too much. I feel that CIG don't really have a clue about MMOs. I just get that feeling. I don't know why.
Well, my understanding is that CIG, Chris Roberts himself, where he did the Wing Commander series, never been a fan of it. I was a Star Wars X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, X-Wing itself before that, and so on myself. So I know I used a joystick back then too. I never ever found Wing Commander fun. I enjoyed the guys wearing the lion head costume and talking and Mark Hamill and all that, and all of those guys from the different movies. But the gameplay itself sucked. Like, I mean, it sucked royally. And if you're a wing commander diehard, I'm sorry, but I'm on the other side of the fence of that discussion. If it was going to be a choice all over again, I would then still go X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, and TIE Fighter itself, the game, which had the high-resolution polygon textures to send out to you on the post floppy disk, 3.25 floppy disk pack, right, that you stuck in your computer installed, that would then turn the game into something in its day would be like Star Citizen now graphically, and additional missions and things like that, right? It was a massively superior product, even for the base game, without the floppy drive and the mail, and it still is. And Wing Commander was Chris Roberts' way of trying to make a movie and a game all at once. 242. I'm sorry. And he sucked at it. And they got through 5 of the games, right? 1 to 5. Yeah. Which is bonkers. But back in the day, there was no other real competition. And that was the thing. Star Wars came in, I think, in Wing Commander 3 onwards. So that was the whole thing. LucasArts found their stride, and they really did well with that. Secrets Monkey Island as well at the time. So, but they just came in a bit later than Chris did. And when they did, though, they brought out a far superior product. Far superior. That's in my opinion. Yeah. Please don't shoot me, everybody in the audience. So, where we are with Star Citizen now, we are in a situation where we are that 1.5 footsteps just before stepping through the front door to paradise, right? Dynamic server meshing is being tested in part in the new underground facilities, the PvE ones. Now, you being a PvP player might not be in your wheelhouse of conversation, so we'll skip over that. But yeah, that's also being tested right now. So they are testing dynamic server meshing as we speak in part. All of that stuff we'll discuss in another video anyway. I'll go into great depth. And once we go 4.3 live, then I'll actually go through it and we'll go into exceptionally great depth. All right, mate, is there anything else you would like to add to the conversation today?
Well, obviously I'm going to be doing stuff for you guys anyway, but yeah, if you're having problems in-game, just hit me up. If you need any help with security work, you know, yeah, just let me know. I'm sure you could leave your details in a comment, or just leave your handle and I'll get in touch with you guys in the comments or whatnot. If you need some security help and boots on the ground, you need a small team. I've got a team behind me as well. We're not an org. I'm not an org. I'm solo, but I do have probably about 15 to 20 players that I can call up on if I need a small army. So yeah.
Fantastic. One more question before we go.
Yeah.
Where are you setting up once 1.0 hits?
I'm still going to be in Pyro.
Pyro. Okay, cool. I just wanted to ask, because guys, with the previous video, you guys are absolutely mind-blowingly fantastic. You've given me all the right information. You've explained why you want to live where you want to live in the verse, at the start at the very least. The fact that most of you are going to then further expand out from there, which is phenomenal news. Darkvyper is going to be your Pyro king to keep you alive. So please, guys, give him some love. Friend him on Star Citizen and add him to your list, because this guy will do the best of the best for you, and he won't charge you the earth either if you're in Pyro or Nyx. All right, Darkvyper, thank you so much for your time, mate. I'm happy you haven't shot me yet, which is fantastic too. Mate,
you're very welcome.
All right, so if you haven't got anything else, we'll wrap up from here.
You can't put out a gun in this area, by the way.
Oh man, I'm gutted.
Damn it. I mean, yay. Thank you, Viper.
No worries, buddy. Have a good one.
Same to you. Cheers. All right, guys. So there we go. The life of a merc. It is, you can be a good guy, you can be a bad guy, or you can be both. You can look after yourself and make your money and not have to rely on an org leader and other people within an org to get things done. You skill up, you practice, you learn from the mistakes you make in doing the merc work. Sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. But as long as you are in there to make a buck for yourself, that's how that gameplay loop's going to work. Now, the thing is, guys, this is a really good follow-up video from the previous one because I want you guys to understand the dangers that are involved. Yes, Terra and Castrate, we're going to be pretty safe, right? But when we're going to talk about going back to Stanton after you set up your home base in those star systems, or you want to dare step into Pyro, and also Nyx, even for a visit, make sure someone like Darkvyper is escorting you there and back. Because at the end of the day, you are going to end up potentially in a really bad situation if you don't. Simple. The whole thing of Star Citizen is that you need to be able to work with people who are going to be your friends, first and foremost. If not friends, they're going to be a client. And that client is going to be somebody that is going to want to engage you for business purpose and then disengage afterwards after payment's made. So don't get the lines blurred. If you hire a merc, you're hiring them as a contracted person for a short period of time. They will go and then they will not have any loyalty to you after that. That is not their gameplay loop. That is not the purpose of how they want to play Star Citizen. They're in it for themselves to do their own thing. So if you hire them, they're going to do the goddamn best job they can do. You pay them, that's it. Bye-bye. If you then are on the receiving end on the other side of things later on, and they're after you, they're not going to show any mercy. They're not going to show any clemency. You did the wrong thing, or you got yourself in a situation that you've put yourself in and he gets the contract, the bounty on you. That's it. Cold-hearted, gonna kill you. That's it. Doesn't matter what. The money's gonna always talk and the bullshit's always gonna walk. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed this episode where we're talking about the other side of the game. We're also talking about you guys need to plan forward. And in the next video after this one, if this is an insert video in between what the next one I was going to do already, which is for rep. We'll discuss that in the next video anyway, guys. So thank you very much. I'm CTT, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Peace out. Cheers.